Welcome to episode 5 of Cooking with Kyle, Ina, and Wilson too. Today we're going to be cooking 2 recipes from the Barefoot Contessa's cookbook, the first cookbook in the series. We're going to be doing a roasted tomato basil soup and the perfect roasted chicken. And Wilson is already starting to smell the chicken, I think. Wilson, no. So I'll show you how I did the chicken, and this is an excellent way to do a roasted chicken. Wilson! Okay, to start our roasted tomato basil soup, we are going to start off with a little olive oil in a Dutch oven and some butter over medium heat. Once your olive oil and your butter is warm, add your onions. And your red pepper flakes. After your onions have sauteed for about 5-6 minutes, add your garlic. The recipe calls for a lot of fresh basil. So what I've done is I've stacked up all the leaves, and I'm just gonna kind of roll it into maybe like a little cigar. And give it a chop. And add your stewed tomatoes. Those are whole plum tomatoes. And then if you don't have one of these, I don't know what it's called, but it's just an edge that you can just pick up stuff and drop right in. It really saves you a lot of time. Add your basil, add your thyme, and salt and pepper, and that's it. You've heated your tomatoes up, go ahead and add your 1 quart of chicken broth. Once your tomatoes are done, go ahead and add them to the soup mixture. And it says in the recipe to add all the juices from the roasting pan, so I'm gonna just dump that in there and give this a good stir. And we're gonna put it on simmer, on low, and let it simmer for about 45 minutes. Now that the soup has been simmering for about 45 minutes, I'm gonna use this wand blender, I guess is what you call it, and just kind of puree some of the soup. I don't want it completely pureed, but I'm gonna leave some chunkiness to it to get those tomatoes nice and combined. To get started on our perfect oven roasted chicken, we're going to use a lemon, a bundle of rosemary and thyme, which I've just tied together with a string, and then a garlic, a whole head of garlic, which you just cut in half. I always says it's very important to liberally salt and pepper the inside of the chicken. So I'm gonna use quite a bit of salt and quite a bit of pepper. And then you just take your lemon, stuff it, your garlic, stuff that, another half a lemon, rest of the garlic. Just put the paper in there too, the garlic paper. Once it gets roasted, it'll just pop right out of that paper. Place your chicken on a bed of sliced Spanish onions. And then you take your rosemary and your thyme, you just shove it in there. So when you roast a chicken, it's always important to make sure that the wings are tucked underneath the body, and the wings are pulled in tight to the rest of the chicken so that it cooks evenly and honestly probably quicker. So something I learned on TV was if you cut a little bit of holes through the skin here on both sides. You can then stick the end of the chicken leg through that hole and it helps hold it in place. Like that. Next, you're gonna take some melted butter and lather up the chicken. Next, add more salt and pepper to the outside of your chicken. And now it's ready to go into the oven. And the chicken's ready to go in, 425 degrees for about an hour and a half. So the chicken is done. So I'll be taking out all the lemon, garlic, and rosemary and thyme out of the body cavity and making a gravy next. So I've removed the chicken and the onions and I put it on a platter, tinted it with tin foil to let it rest. And I'm gonna take all this juice that's in there, pour it in a pan, and start my gravy. So I took the broth from the roasting pan, put it in the saucepan, cooked it down and reduced it a little bit, and then I took a little bit of the liquid out, put it into like a little salad shaking container and added a little flour and dissolved it. But because the liquid was a little warm, when I sealed up the container, it blew the lid off and exploded. So it created quite the commotion here in the kitchen, but Wilson was very happy because he was cleaning up the kitchen floor. So this is the resulting gravy that we'll pour over the chicken. Now that the chicken has rested about 10 minutes, I'm going to take out all the thyme and rosemary and garlic and the lemons. And you can see it's well done. And that garlic, you can even use that to spread on some bread with some goat cheese. Oh my God, that would be so good, wouldn't it? Garlic.